Hey guys, welcome back to our Vietnam War Heroes video series. This is video number 2. I read 20 videos, 20 names off of the wall, the Vietnam Wall Memorial, 2 or 3 days ago. And since I'm ahead, I'm all the way on. Let's see. I'm on number, I've gone a long ways. I'm on number 180. It's not 8, I should know. Oh yeah, I'm on 182 of 58,000. So we have a very long ways to go. But I read the first 20 the other day, and I showed you guys the pictures, and we had a little discussion about their lives and all that stuff. So I'm going to do 20 more today. We're still in the A's. We're going to be in the A's for a while. I ended up getting a couple of them later to Adams. Yeah, Adams. There's 127 Adams alone in a row on this wall, this list, A through Z. So whenever we get to Adams, we'll be on Adams for a couple of videos, 127. But thank you guys for sticking around, and I need to get my phone oriented correctly because it's like tilting. And I'm doing the videos here on YouTube, but as I'm writing them, I do lives on like TikTok and Clapper. That's the two I've used so far. I do live streams on there, reading them live as I'm writing them down. So if you guys want to go follow those, you can. I'll put those in the description. But if you're just here to watch the videos and learn with me, then here we are. Let's get started. We have 20 of them to do. I'm going to do something a little different. Yes, the other day was our video 1, was our test run. And I learned a little bit of how to do it. This time we're going to do a little more respect. We're going to do a moment of silence and a thank you to each one of them. We didn't do that the first video. I was just reading. I was a little nervous. Hadn't done any of them yet. So let's get started. Let's see where we left off. 3 pages just to get the 4th page just to get to number 20. Okay, we left off on 20. Here we go. So we're going to go all the way from 21 to 40. So we have to go 21 to 41? Let's do 21 to 40. We'll stop on the 20 each time. So, like if you watch the first video, I sit here and I explain the person. I explain what their rank was, their name, where they was born, when they was born, when they died, where they died, the company they was in, where they was killed, what medals they, special medals they won, how they died, and where you can find them on the wall in Vietnam. So, bear with me, guys. This is video number 2. We're still in Abbots. We ended with Abbots. We're still in Abbots. I don't remember how many Abbots there were. But, oh, hello. I thought I said, do you love the NBA was your message. But anyway, if you guys love our country and you love our veterans, these Vietnam veterans don't need to be forgotten. So we're going to give them all respect right now. Like I said, since you're just joining me, I'm on 182 out of 58,000. Hi, so I have a long way to go. I have 58,000 names to write down in this book from Kentucky. So this video series is going to be probably 5,500 videos long or something. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, let's go to the first. This is number 21. This is SPC, which I still haven't figured out what SPC is. I thought it was Special Forces, but it isn't. I'm from Kentucky. This is my local high school. All right, so 21 is SPC Guy Francis Abbott. He was born January 26, 1939 in Nebraska, City, Nebraska. He died February the 23rd. He was 69 years old. Now, we don't get a lot of eldermen in here. Most of the time, well, I say 69. Oh, he died I'm sorry, I get that right. He died on February 23rd. In 1969, he was 30. I was about to say, we have some that's old, but not 69. He was 30. He was in Company D, 5th. I write really fast, so it takes me a second on some of these. 5th something, 1st Cavalry Division. He was KIA Vietnam. Some of these will not have, information. I searched and searched and searched. I will cite where I find these at here sometime in the middle of the video, so y'all just hang with me. Anyway, he was a war hero. So he wasn't just a veteran, he was a war hero. He was awarded 2 Purple Hearts and 3 Bronze Stars. That's pretty good. He got another Bronze Star with a Valor Citation. He was awarded Air Medal for over 30 missions. I had no information on how he passed. They didn't give information on that, so I don't know how he passed. So that's the 21st one. Like I said, if you want to stay with these video series, Rick, I'll go over it again. We're doing a tribute. It's called 58,000 Lives, a tribute to the fallen. I'm writing down all 58,000 Vietnam veterans, how they perished. A lot about them. We're going to learn about them together, and we're going to tell you where to go see where they're at if you want to go to the Wall Memorial in Washington, which is awesome. I've been twice. But like I said, let's give that one a moment of silence for Guy Francis Abbott. And we want to thank him for our service. So, all right, let's go to the next guy. All right, this is PFC, which is Private First Class. I was in the Navy, so I don't know how to do all these names on these ones that are not Navy. This is PFC Harold Wayne Abbott. We're in the Abbotts for a while. He was born on Christmas, well, December 25th, 1948. After this one, I'll try to tell you where I cite these at. Oh, this guy's from Somerset, which is 45 minutes that way. I live in a little town in Kentucky, and this guy was born in Somerset, which is right up the road. On Christmas, 1948. I wrote 45 minutes from me. Little side notes. He died February 17, 1968. He was only 19. In Thien Hue, Vietnam. I'm not very good with the names of the towns. He was in B Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, 1st Marine Division. He was a machine gunner. I had zero info on his death, as much as I searched. If you want to find him, he's on panel 39E, line 68. And I need to make an asterisk right here because for some reason, I'm doing so many of these. For some reason, that last one we did, I didn't write down where to find him on the wall, or didn't show his picture. So we're going to go back. Some mistakes were made when you do 58,000. I forgot to show you their picture when I talk about them. That way, you guys can see what they look like. Right? We did Guy Francis Abbott, correct? I got to find out where he's at. That's David Francis. Guy Francis. Okay, here we go. This is a picture of him. This was Guy Francis Abbott. And I didn't get a chance to write down where he was on the wall, so I'm going to do that right now. He is on 32W, line 87. Just in case you guys want to go see him. We give him a moment of silence and everything. All right, let's go to that. We just did Harold Wayne Abbott. Here's Harold Wayne Abbott. We're going to give him his moment of silence. And we're going to thank him for his service. So thank you, Harold Wayne Abbott, for your service. All right, now we're on track. Oh, where I'm going to cite him from. Okay. So basically what I do is, I told you I would show the site on here. So if you're watching this after, what I do is I go to, I do it on my phone, other phone. This is my one of the pictures. I go to Google Books, has a booklet with all 58,000 people's names. Just the pictures that I showed y'all. There's a booklet. And all I have to do is says their name, where they was, what their rank is, when they was born, when they died, where they're from, all that stuff. So I write down their stuff in here, and then I go to walloffaces.com. This is Wall of Faces. Wall of Faces has all their pictures, has a little bit of information about them. So I'll go to Wall of Faces. I write down, make sure everything's correct. Then I then I go to findagrave.com. Now, findagrave.com, it seems like they have every one of them has a monument. So the government has already given them a page on there. But there's a lot of family pages. So the one that says monument, I click on that. A lot of information the family gives, how he died, all that stuff. That's where I get most of this information. And if I can't find anything on Find a Grave, which happens, I highlight their name, copy and paste it. Then I go just random Google search, and then I go to different websites like Military Bracelet, Wall of Honors, Medal of Honor. But one of them is like servewithabuddy.com. There's all kinds of websites that when I get to the end of these video series, I will cite on those, and that's how I find their information out. Okay, let's go to the third one. Okay, so this is James Edward Abbott. Okay. This was PFC, private, I'm sorry. This is Private James Edward Abbott. He was born February 20th, 1949 in Shreveport, Louisiana. He died April the 4th, 1970. He was 21. He died in Binh Dong, Vietnam. I'm not trying to be funny when I say those. I think that's how to pronounce it. He was in the 12th Infantry Regiment, 25th Infantry Division, U.S. Army. I had zero info. All it said was KIA, so I don't know any info on him. He is on panel 12W, line 110 on the Vietnam War Memorial if you want to go find him when you go to Washington. Okay, let's give Private James a moment of silence. And we thank him for his service. Okay. Let's go to number 24. This is James Michael Abbott. Yes. All right, you seen this picture? This is Corporal James Michael Abbott. He was born August 20th, 1948 in Memphis, Tennessee. He died April 25th, 1969 at 20. He died in Long An, Vietnam. He was with the 2nd Platoon, Company B, 2nd Battalion, 12th Infantry Regiment, 25th Infantry Division, U.S. Army. He was killed by an explosive device. That's all it said. He's on panel W26, line 42 on the Wall Memorial if you guys want to look him up when you get there. Let's give James Corporal Abbott a moment of silence. And thank him for his service. Thank you, James Abbott, for his service. Now, since the first 20 I did the other day, we didn't give any moment of silences, so I'm going to give a moment of silence right now for all the 20 that I read the other day, and I didn't do a moment of silence. So let's give all those first 20 a moment of silence. And I thank all 20 of them for their service. So that way we didn't forget them, since I just decided to do this on the second video. Okay, let's go to the next veteran on here. This is Mr. James. This is SP6 James Terry Abbott. He was born February the 19th, 1944 in Flora, Indiana. He died January the 11th, 1971. He was 26. Now I'm going to get this name completely, I'm going to completely blotch his name. This, where he was at. Thu Thien Huynh, Vietnam. He was in the 101st MP Company, 101st Airborne Division. Now this one is really sad, just so y'all know. He was murdered. This is the first one that was murdered. All the rest of them were friendly fire, death by, the Viet Cong. This one was killed by his own people, and it was actually murder, not an accidental death. Murdered by Staff Sergeant William E. Thomas. Abbott was in charge of investigation at Camp Evans. He entered the barracks with an MP detachment. I guess they was going to arrest him. And Thomas fired a rifle shot at Abbott several times, killing him. Abbott was the only criminal investigator in South Vietnam. He is on panel 5W, line 38 at the Wall Memorial. Let's give it a moment of silence for SP6 James Terry Abbott, who was murdered in Vietnam. And thank him for our service. That beep is not the fire detector. People are like, oh, it's fire. That is my security system low battery. That is not a smoke detector battery light. Okay, let's go. This is number 26 of 58,000. This is Captain John Abbott. All right, Captain John Townsend Abbott. So Townsend was his nickname. John Townsend Abbott. He was born August 20th, 1927 in San Diego, California. He died April 27th, 1966 at age 38. He was a Vietnam. He was a pilot in the U.S. Navy of Squadron VF-53 on the USS Essex, which was CV-9. I served on the Essex after they redone it into a different amphibious assault. But this was the original Essex. He earned the Distinguished Flying Cross and 4 Gold Stars. He attacked as a division leader with attack bombers onto heavily defended rail and supply lines. Repeatedly attacked under heavy fire from anti-guns. He personally took out 3 heavy guns and silenced several others. It's a good act of valor right there. Let's give Captain John Townsend Abbott a moment of silence. And we want to thank Captain Abbott for his service. Okay, let's go on to the next Marine. We are on number 27 of 58,000. This is John William Abbott. John William Abbott. He was the first lieutenant, John William Abbott. Born July 23rd, 1945 in South Bend, Indiana. He died May the 25th, 1969. He was 23. He died in Quang Tri, Vietnam. He was an infantry officer in Company C, 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines, 3rd Marine Division, 3rd Marine Amphibious Force. He was a Marine corpsman. He was killed as a result of a mortar round hitting a Marine 88 millimeter mortar ammo dump. 14 others died of that result. So he was in the Marine Corps. He was working as a mortar, and a 85 millimeter mortar ammo dump is where he was working, and a Vietnam mortar hit their mortar and killed 14 others as a result. That's god awful. He's on panel 24W, line 100 on the Vietnam War Memorial, if you guys want to look him up. Let's give First Lieutenant John William Abbott a moment of silence. And we thank First Lieutenant John William Abbott for his service. Okay, let's go on to number 28 here. This is PFC Paul Dennis Abbott. Looks like a baseball player. PFC Paul Dennis Abbott. He was born March 22nd, 1948 in Cyrene, Wisconsin. He died October 28th, 1967. He was 19 in Lao Chau, Vietnam. He was a corpsman of the 27th Infantry Region, 25th Infantry Division Army. He was killed in action from small arms fire 18 days after arriving. That's pretty sad. He died in his 18th day of being at Vietnam. He's on panel 28E, line 89, if you guys want to look him up on the War Memorial. Let's give a moment of silence for PSC Paul Abbott. And we thank PFC Paul Dennis Abbott for his service and his sacrifice. So we may be free. Okay, next is Corporal Raymond Lawrence Abbott. I know it's backwards. Corporal Raymond Lawrence Abbott, born June 9th, 1947 in Warren County, Pennsylvania. He died August 2nd, 1967. He was 20 years old in Quang Nam, Vietnam. He was 1st Marine Division, 5th Marine Regiment, 2nd Battalion, G Company. The only info I got was he was killed in action from small arms fire. I couldn't get anything else. He was on panel 24E, line 65, if you want to look him up on the War Memorial in Washington. Let's give Corporal Abbott a moment of silence. And we thank Corporal Raymond Lawrence Abbott for his service and his sacrifice to our country. I just lost the spot where I was at. Where did I leave at? Oh, how did I lose my spot? Okay, there's Dennis Eugene. David Francis. I should not have turned my phone to the side because now I lost my spot. All right, just give me a second. Bear with me here. We just read Raymond Lawrence's name. Okay, there he is. Whew. Took me a second there. All right, this is PFC Robert Eston Abbott Jr. He was born December 16, 1944 in Pine Lawn, Missouri. He died May 8th, 1968. He was 23 in Binh Dong, Vietnam. He was 101st Airborne Division, and I had no info on his death as much as I researched. He's on panel 56E, line 34, if you want to look him up on the War Memorial. Let's give PFC Robert Abbott Jr. a moment of silence. And we thank PFC Robert Abbott Jr. for his sacrifice and his service. So we may be free, because that's what it takes. This is Major Robert William Abbott. Major Robert William Abbott, born October 19, 1920. He died December 17, 1965. He was 45. In Ninh Thuong, Vietnam, 4th Air Command Squadron, 250th CBT SPT Group. I don't know what that means. 13th Air Force. He died in an airplane crash, and he was MIA. That's all I know. Nobody ever found his body. He was on panel 4E, line 19 at the Wall Memorial if you want to look him up. Let's give Major Robert William Abbott a moment of silence. And we thank Major Robert William Abbott for his sacrifice and his service to our country. It's going a lot quicker than the last video because I'm not doing as much jibber jabbering. So I might go a little further. We're only 21 minutes in. I like to do about an hour, so we might pass the 20 mark. Okay, so this is First Lieutenant Stephen Glenn Abbott. First Lieutenant Stephen Glenn Abbott, born April 17, 1946 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He died May the 12th, 1968. He was 22. In Quang Tri, Vietnam. He was a helicopter pilot for D Company, 229th Assault Helicopter Battalion. All I got was he was shut down by enemy gunfire. He's on panel 58E, line 29, if you want to look him up at the Wall Memorial. Let's give First Lieutenant Stephen Abbott a moment of silence. And we thank First Lieutenant Stephen Abbott for his sacrifice and his service to our country. Okay, this is Private Terry Michael Abbott. Looks pretty fierce on there, don't he? Private Terry Michael Abbott was born May 8, 1949 in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. Died February 22nd, 1968. He was 18 years old. He was a B Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Marine, 1st Marine Division. He died as a result of gunfire to the head and body. 28 Marines and 1 corpsman died in the same assault he died in. He's on panel 40E, line 57 on the Vietnam War Memorial if you guys want to see him on there. Let's give Private Terry Abbott a moment of silence. And we thank Private Terry Abbott for his service and sacrifice to our country. This is Private First Class Warren Abbott. Private First Class Warren. Did I say Warren? I'm sorry. Private First Class Wallace Adron Abbott. I don't know why I said Warren. Wallace. Hey, let me do this. Let me redo this because I don't want to get nothing wrong when I'm showing remembrance to these people. This is PFC Wallace Adron Abbott. I'll get it right in a minute. He was born December 21st, 1946 in Dyer County, Tennessee. He died November 4th, 1966. He was 19. In Vietnam. All I got was he died in Vietnam. He was 1st Cavalry Division, 2nd Platoon, 8th Cavalry, C Company. Died of drowning. That's the only information I got. He died of drowning. I don't know how or anything like that. I guess when they crossed a lot of the streams from all the rain. He's on panel 12E, line 16 on the Vietnam War Memorial. Just terrible to go over there. Vietnam dive drowning. But let's give PFC Wallace Abbott a moment of silence. And we thank PFC Abbott for his service and his sacrifice to our country. I enjoy learning about these people. I do this. I'll do all 58,000. I love it. It's just so enjoyable to learn about them and show them the care we have for our veterans. Okay, this next one is Private Bruce Alian Abdelia. I think I'm saying that right. Bruce Alian Abdelia. Born December 15, 1952 in Connecticut. He died October 26, 1971. He was 18 in Dong Ninh, Vietnam. He was 1st Logistics Command, 576 Ordnance Company, accidental self-destruction, ground casualty. So that sounds like he took his own life. That's awful. He's on panel 2W, line 50. Let's give Private Bruce Abdelia a moment of silence. We thank Private Bruce Abdelia for his sacrifice and his service to our country. This next one is Corporal, make sure I get the name right. This is Corporal Ghalib Ahmed Abdullah. I think I'm saying that correctly. He was born February 16, 1943 in New York City, New York. He died January 31st of 1968. So he died on New Year's Eve, 24 years old in Vietnam. U.S. Army 20th Engineering Brigade. All it said was hostile ground fire. That's the only information I could get. He's on panel 35E, line 84. If you guys want to look him up. And let's give Corporal Abdullah a moment of silence. We thank Corporal Abdullah for his service and his sacrifice to the country. I might just keep this one at 30 minutes, keep it a little shorter. This is Corporal Arnold Gordon Abel. He was born September 5th, 1947 in French Lick, Indiana. He died January 10th, 1968. He was 20 years old in Quang Ninh, Vietnam. He was in the 196th Light Infantry Brigade, Company A, 3rd Battalion, 21st Infantry, killed during a search and destroy operation. Got a Purple Heart. That's all I know. Only information I can find. He's on panel 34E, line 13 of the Vietnam War Memorial. Let's give Corporal Abel a moment of silence. And we thank Corporal Abel for his service and sacrifice to our country. Okay, this next one is Captain Charles Seaborn Abel. He was born March the 4th, 1938 in Modesto, California. He died September 13th, 1966. He was 28 years old. He was the co-pilot on a UH-1B Huey called the Top Tigers. He flew a mission to supply a platoon on a classified operation. The squad was 2 gunships with 5 slicks. That's what it says, 5 slicks. When they missed the landing zone due to weather, his helicopter got separated and lost in the fog and crashed. Unknown how they crashed. His body was recovered months later, but no one knows how they went down. He's on panel 10E, line 89 on the Vietnam War Memorial if you want to look him up. Let's give Captain Charles Abel a moment of silence. And we thank Captain Charles Abel for his service and his sacrifice to the country. All right, we're on number 39 out of 38,000, so we're getting there. This is Captain Charles Frederick Abeen. He was born November 18th, 1930 in Montclair, New Jersey. He died November 19th, the day after his birthday, 1968. He turned 38, so a day after his birthday, in Quang Ninh, Vietnam. After 22 years in the Marine Corps, he was set to retire in February of '69. So he was retiring in 3 months. He enlisted at the age of 15. He was killed from a hostile rocket attack. 3 months from retiring. He's on panel 38W, line 9 on the Vietnam War Memorial. Let's give Captain Charles Abeen a moment of silence. We want to thank Captain Charles Abeen for his service and his sacrifice to our country. All right, we're going to cut it off on this next one at number 40. This video is going to be a little shorter than the last one, but that's okay. Just gives me a little time to talk at the end. I have plenty more to do. This is First Lieutenant Daniel Owen Abernathy. First Lieutenant Daniel Owen Abernathy, born November 1st, 1946 in Burlington, New Jersey. He died August 24th, 1968. He was 21 in Binh Dinh, Vietnam. 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry, 173rd Airborne Brigade. Rocket fire hit his command bunker, killing him instantly. He was awarded the Bronze Star. He's on panel 47W, line 58 of the Vietnam War Memorial. Let's give First Lieutenant Abernathy a moment of silence. And we thank First Lieutenant Abernathy for his service and his sacrifice to our country. Now, that's 40 in 2 videos we've read on here, showing them. We remember them because I don't want someone passed away all those years ago, 50, 60 years ago, to be forgotten, especially ones that went over to war when they when they was drafted and they didn't go on their own accord, and then some of them dying of murder and self-inflicted gunshot wounds and friendly fire. The amount of ones that did not die by the enemy is about 25% so far. That is insane. But it's almost the weekend, so I'm going to spend the weekend writing more down, and probably Monday night, maybe Tuesday, I'll come back on video number 3, and we'll keep rolling with them until we get to the end, all 58,000. Like I said, we're 40 down. I don't know, it's 58,000 something, so I don't know exactly how many the number is. I just know it's over 58,000. So we will continue on in a couple days. So I want to thank all of the veterans that's passed and all the ones that came home, the ones that didn't deserve the way they got treated. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. How do I end it?